Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about the Rick and Michonne spinoff and the potential release date, or at least release window or whatever, that Danai Gurira teased. She actually teased it just like the other day. It was a couple of days ago in an interview, so I want to break that down. And yeah, I'm just very excited. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Now, I haven't been posting a lot this month really at all. Honestly, I got kind of burnt out. Like, towards the end of The Walking Dead, it really did just get very intense, and there was a lot of uploads, and there was just a lot of stuff there, honestly, and there was so much hype and excitement that it just got to the point of, like, as soon as that last episode aired, I honestly was so burnt out. I think it was the episode before that, or it was the one before that. I can't remember. It was more the last 2 or 3, though, that, like, I must have had, like, 3 hours of sleep or something like that. And I remember the day after I felt really sick. So, yeah, it just really took a lot out of me. I really enjoyed it, honestly. It was a really crazy time. And I'm so happy that I got to experience that with all of you guys. Like, really incredible. But, yeah, I just kind of figured because it's the holidays that I would take some time off until after Christmas. And now, today, at least here, it's Boxing Day. So I figured, well, today would be a good day to start with this. Tomorrow, I do want to do another Q&A video, and then I also want to start getting into the top 10 videos before the new year. So yeah, just expect some top 10 videos and stuff like that from stuff that was released in 2022 and all of that. And then yeah, we'll start 2023 off in a really, really awesome way, because that Rick and Michonne show is going to be filming very, very soon. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. I feel incredibly refreshed, but I'll talk about a lot of this stuff towards the end of this video. Let's actually get into some of this stuff here. So again, like I was saying, Danai did tease the release date here. Obviously, she did some sort of interview, I guess, with Deadline. I would actually like to check out the interview. I haven't actually checked it out, but it's like 20 questions or something on Deadline, and I do wonder if they talked about a lot more stuff there. But yeah, anyways, I saw this on Collider, so I will leave a link down below to this article. But she actually talks about the release date here, and she says that the spinoff is actually going to be premiering after The Walking Dead Dead City and The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. So that's a little interesting. It was something that we already kind of assumed just based off of the production start dates, right? Like Dead City's already finished filming. There might be some other stuff they have to do here and there, but for the most part, they're done. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, obviously, they're in the middle of filming, although I'm guessing they probably took a break here for a little bit. They'll probably resume in like a week or so. The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, they've been filming now for about, what, a month and a half or something like that? I don't remember exactly when they started. Maybe it's been like 2 months, month and a half around there. They're probably done like the first 2 episodes, maybe on the third one or something, but they'll probably resume in like the first week of January, and then that'll go on till what, like February or something like that, and then they'll be done February, March. So it makes sense, the Rick and Michonne show, they're supposed to start filming in January, but apparently it's been rumored that it's been pushed off until February. So we'll have to wait and see. It's possible it's just the first week of February, and like literally originally they were planning to film in the last week of January, right? So it literally might have got pushed off a week, but it just entered a new month. But she says, I think it's late 2023. I think it's somewhere in that region, Halloween there, after, somewhere there. That is the goal. So to me, that actually makes perfect sense. And if they do push it off a little bit more into October, like late October, that actually makes way more sense, because whenever we tried to plan out, the release for all of this stuff, I was always like, well, the Daryl show would probably premiere, I'm guessing, at the end of August, maybe like early September, somewhere around there. It would go for 6 weeks, but it would probably end like early October. And do you want to start the Rick and Michonne show off immediately? You might want to give it a bit of a break, because I noticed they've been doing that a lot lately. Like, they haven't really been having their premieres and their finales line up that much lately. So I was wondering if they were going to sort of like break it up a little bit there, give a 2 or 3 week window. And I think it makes sense to premiere it maybe around Halloween, just around that time there. I actually think it's probably perfect. And I just checked, Halloween is on a Tuesday, which does kind of suck. It would be cool if Halloween actually was on a Sunday, because definitely do it then, right? The premiere for The Walking Dead, like the very first season, was on Halloween. So that would have been kind of cool if it lined up, but they could still release it on October 29th or October 22nd, or maybe they're planning to do it on November 5th. I mean, I don't think that will be the release date personally, just because it's 6 episodes, it's going to go for 6 weeks. And so I'm just kind of picturing it being like, okay, so if you release it October 29th, that's the first one. Second episode is November 5th. Third is November 12th. The fourth is November 19th, and then 26th. And then, yeah, so the finale would be on December 3rd. which does line up. Like normally, I guess sometimes they do go all the way until December 10th. So it's possible they could release it November 5th. Because like I'm pretty sure World Beyond, or maybe it was The Walking Dead season 8, but there was a couple of seasons that actually went a little bit into December like that, like up to December 10th, or it was like 8th or 7th or something, from what I remember anyway. So yeah, I don't know. But I also think, you know, having that show premiere in November is just a little off. And I'm just so used to Walking Dead content coming out in October, like the main thing, right? And the Rick and Michonne show is the main thing. So my guess is October 29th. It'll be released, and then it'll end on December 3rd. That's kind of what I'm assuming. And then the whole question there, obviously, after December 3rd is going to be, is that the end for Rick and Michonne? Is this show just going to be one season? A lot of people are saying it's just going to be one season, but it really depends, honestly. Like, I know there's been some rumors out there about it just being one season, but I do think there is some hope there. Like, obviously, if this show is very, very successful, like super successful, AMC is going to want to do a season 2 because there is a story there for it, right? There's a massive story there that you can actually tell. Like, you're actually able to reunite all the characters too, you know, in future seasons. If you're going to do 3 seasons at a maximum, you could reunite characters in future seasons and stuff like that if you really wanted to, right? So yeah, like I think that's going to be a really interesting question here. Like I do wonder at Comic-Con, because obviously that's probably when we're going to get the trailer for this show. I do wonder what they're going to talk about, because a lot of the talk right now is this is an epic love story and it's about this or that. It's a limited series, or at least Danai, you know, she talks about it being a limited series quite a bit. And I do wonder what it's going to be like at Comic-Con, because they're likely going to have a panel there. They're probably going to talk about the show for like an hour, right? And that's going to be one of the most interesting things, because last Comic-Con, you know, I think that was one of the things that personally for me felt kind of off, because I guess a lot of people just talked about, you know, what it was like to film the last season, this and that, but I don't really, personally for me, I don't really find that interesting. Like for me, what I find really interesting is just, you know, them talking about what the story is going to be, announcing new cast members and stuff like that. I think my favorite Comic-Con, or my last favorite one anyways, was probably around season 9, maybe season 10. There was a Comic-Con there where it was actually pretty exciting because they did talk about some stuff, or at least Robert Kirkman talked about the New World Order arc. That might have been season 9, like, or going into season 10, like that could have been around there, because that was a lot of fun. And so, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what they talk about, because if they're talking about the Rick and Michonne show for an hour, like, you know, I really feel like someone's going to ask the question, is there a possibility for there to be a season 2? Right? And if there's no possibility, they're just going to say no. Like, they're just going to be like, no, this is a limited series, this and that, 6 episodes. So it's just one of those things where, like, I don't know how people are going to respond to it, because they're going to get asked that, right? Like, they know that's going to be a question. Are we going to get a season 2? Is this it for Rick and Michonne? Is this going to end everything? Yeah, it's going to be a really fascinating question to see how it actually all plays out. For me personally, just based off of everything, I'm going into this show basically expecting this to sort of be the end for them. I really feel like there's so much more to tell. And I think if this is the end, I think afterwards we're all going to be like, well, there's so much more that you could have done. And we're going to talk about that right away, because Danai actually talks about the story here a little bit. So I do want to get into some of her comments, but it is going to be a really interesting year. Once we're watching that show, once we're on episode 4, episode 5, I think we're all going to be wondering, is this it? Like, is this it for the show? And then, you know, when the finale airs, maybe we do get that confirmation that, like, yeah, I guess that is just it, like with where the story ends. That's it, sort of thing. Or maybe they announce that there's going to be a season 2. Like, the one thing that I will say, you know, as much as it seems like this is just going to be one season, the one thing that I will say is that I know Andrew Lincoln had a lot of issues with how they announced stuff beforehand. Like, they would announce things like Rick Grimes' last episodes and stuff like that. You know, I know he wanted them to keep it a secret. I would assume it's probably the same sort of thing here. They're just teasing this, they're doing this, or at least I'm not assuming, but I'm saying there's a possibility that maybe that's what they're doing. And then, you know, if there's a really positive reaction, you know, from all of us fans and we really want more, maybe there is a lot more to do there, right? So I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But as of now, I'm just going to take it as sort of a one season thing, and then we'll just kind of see at that point there. If it gets renewed for season 2, awesome. Obviously, I'm so here for it, but it's going to be interesting. Honestly, talking about that all year is going to be a lot of fun. But let's actually get into what Danai actually said about some of the story here that I do actually want to talk about. So she says it's definitely an epic love story. It's very much rooted in the world we know of, and then another world that we don't know yet. So what I actually really wanted to focus on there is, you know, she talks about like the story and what the story is going to be about. It is about Rick and Michonne finding each other, but there's also this really exciting part to it that I That's what I mean. That's why I get so hung up on the 6 episode thing. Because I'm like, you can do so much more here. Like, The Walking Dead has been really great. I just feel like it needs a better ending than what we got in the last like 2 seasons, I would say. And I think you can do that if you have Rick and Michonne involved in at least 3 seasons of this show, which would obviously involve them reuniting and having this big epic story here with the Civic Republic. And not even just the Civic Republic, but that group that Michonne is with. She says that the story here, the Rick and Michonne show, is very much rooted in the world that we know of. And then, and then there's another world that we don't know yet. That to me is so exciting because, like, there is a lot of aspects of this show that are completely fresh, completely brand new. Like, they're not even set in anything that we know or recognize, right? With every season of The Walking Dead for however long, there's always been sort of this like, yeah, there's all these things that are happening around us, but, all of our characters are in Alexandria or they're in the hilltop. So we have sort of this baseline for where the story is going to start, right? Like, all of our characters start in Alexandria or the hilltop, or at least we know where their home is, kind of thing, right? And in this show, it's not really like that. Like, Michonne is with a new group that we have so much yet to learn about, right? Like, are we going to just see Michonne with that group? Is that where the story picks up? Or are we going to see a bit more of a backstory to how she finds the group? And same with Rick. He's in a place that we're not, I mean, I guess we know of the CRM and we've seen some of the, the buildings and some of the locations and stuff like that in World Beyond, but we're not that aware of his situation and where he's staying and just the people he's involved with. So it's going to be so different going into that show. Everything's going to feel so fresh and everything's going to feel very exciting. We don't know how things are going to operate, how they work. We don't know what other characters there's going to be, because there's going to be other characters that are on our side. It's not going to be just Rick and Michonne versus the CRM. It's likely going to be, I think how it's going to start is Rick might be more alone. He might have like someone he finds or someone else, like he might have 1 or 2 people with him. Michonne, I imagine it's going to be by herself, but she will have a group there. And then once they reunite at some point, like obviously they're going to have some people with them. There's going to be like this new group almost that forms kind of thing, right? Because they're going to need help. Like they're going to need help to escape this place. So it's just exciting because everything feels very fresh and I'm really excited to see how this story is going to work. And I'm very excited for the CRM stuff. I think for that, I'm mostly excited about Rick's reaction to some of that. And just, I want to meet Major General Beale. I imagine he is going to be a character on this show. And then in terms of Michonne, I'm really interested in that new group that she's with. Because she has this awesome armor. So I'm just like, where did she get this from? And it's not even her. Like, it's one thing for her to have that armor, but her horse has armor too. So I'm so excited for that. Like, honestly, for Michonne's story there, that's the part of it that I think is going to make this really, really exciting. And I really can't wait. So yeah, Danai's comments on this and just with the potential release date being like, I guess Halloween or maybe after or somewhere around there anyways. I'm excited for it. I really cannot wait. And so yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit here. And again, I really just wanted to take a bit of a break. Like honestly, I just needed a break after The Walking Dead ended. Like I know I did some videos afterwards and I was saying, oh yeah, I'm going to get back on the daily videos and stuff. But I really was still just so burnt out. There was so much going on. It was just like, you know what? I'm just going to take a bit of a break here. There's another week left and then, Christmas will be over. And then right after I'll get started on some stuff again. And honestly, there hasn't been a lot to talk about. I mean, I guess there was this interview, but things are about to start to get rolling. I also want to get into my top 10 videos, like top 10, best episodes of the Walking Dead universe of 2022 and the worst episodes. We do have to talk about that. Although I will say in terms of this year, there's not really, I guess there would be a lot of Fear the Walking Dead episodes on there, right? But there wasn't a lot that happened in terms of, bad episodes and stuff. Well, actually, I guess there was Tales of the Walking Dead. I actually liked some of the episodes that some of you guys didn't, but there was an episode that obviously I don't know if that episode, like, could that episode be, honestly, I might have to go back and rewatch that one because I had so much expectation going into that one that maybe that sort of ruined my view on it. I don't know, but I'll have to go through my list. I generally kind of know what my top 10 best episodes are going to be, but in terms of the worst episodes, I'll have to sort of go through that. But yeah, honestly, it's been a lot of fun. The Walking Dead this year in 2022 was just awesome. What's crazy is 2023 is going to be so much bigger, right? Like this year, The Walking Dead ended, like the main show, but throughout the year, there wasn't a lot that was happening, right? Like there was just sort of, I guess, some Commonwealth stuff, which people haven't really been that big of a fan of, and now that arc is over. Besides that, Fear the Walking Dead, people weren't a fan of, and then there was Tales, right? People were mostly excited for what happened at the end of the year, which was the end of The Walking Dead with those last couple of episodes there, and seeing Rick and Michonne come back. Next year, we're going to have a whole brand new story, and I'm very excited for that. You know, we have Dead City, we have the Daryl Dixon spinoff, Fear the Walking Dead Season 8, and then the Rick and Michonne show at the end of the year. So yeah, it's going to be a crazy year. I'm definitely very excited. So post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.